Alright. So, Temur Scapeshift. In general, this deck is less efficient than the red-green Valakut deck. There's a reason why this has mostly been pushed out of the format. And red-green Valakut is the one Scapeshift deck that remains. That deck's more linear. That being said, we've got 4 copies of Growth Spiral, which theoretically helps us go a little bit faster. Once upon a time, Remand was a modern playable card. I don't know if it's particularly good right now, but I had the request to build traditional Scapeshift with Growth Spiral, so let's dive into some games. I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those brutal 2 or 3 match leagues where we just get, you know, messed up by burn a couple of times, then move along with our lives, so. So, traditional red-green Scapeshift is on my no-fly list because I think that deck's incredibly boring. I actually really like this archetype. I like blue-based combo control decks in Modern, but the problem is they're just not very good on average. I don't really have a preference on the upcoming Modern product. Once upon a time, I was really passionate about Modern, but being passionate about Modern just seems to leave me frustrated most of the time, so just not really worried about it for the most part now. Whatever happens, happens. It's a lot easier to not be frustrated with Modern when you're playing it less. When I was playing Modern 8 hours a day, had a lot of strong feelings on it, but when you realize Modern's never going to change, you just like kind of move on with your life. Yeah, they're playing some kind of control deck here, which is probably really good for us. If we get really fortunate on the pairings lottery, we're gonna be in a really good spot here. You know what? Maybe I should have grabbed a second green since I have Steve-O here. Perhaps, mayhaps. I have to imagine Grixis Control is probably an okay matchup for us. Honestly, in addition to the viewers, I'm just happier playing more Standard than playing more Modern. Doing Modern every once in a while is fine, but like, the format is just not what I want it to be. And part of the reason why I was so frustrated with it for a long time is because it's just really not what I want a format that I'm playing 8 hours a day to be. Playing it every once in a while, being disappointed for 45 minutes in the morning with a deck that looks sweet and then it's terrible because Modern is way less frustrating than, like, you know, playing it for 8 hours a day and, like, playing 6 decks that are terrible and disappointing. Well, eventually we're going to draw a Scapeshift and they're going to die, hopefully. So I'm just going to let this resolve, and then I'm going to bolt. I'm going to remand their bolt, and I'm going to bolt their Snapcaster. The Vanderfear deck we played yesterday was good, though. That deck was better than expected to set a bar that's low. Now we play the waiting game. Yay, waiting game. For people not familiar with the interaction there, remanding the Lightning Bolt when they Snapcaster it sends the bolt to exile still. Because the way Flashback's worded is if it would go anywhere, exile it instead. Alright, so I'm going to hold future lands. This Izzet Charm can turn them into a potential other thing. Stop it. So they, well, I guess this is actually going to counter a spell now, huh? This is a good play on the opponent's part. The opponent actually remanded targeting their Snapcaster Mage, which would put the Snapcaster back in their hand and counter my Cryptic Command, so that's no good. Hey, look, a card that kills them. So you're right that Dive Down is better against those decks you just listed. However, it's much worse against much worse against opposing combo decks and other things of that nature. So I think playing Dive Down instead of that card is instead of Spell Pierce is very wrong for the matchups that I want that effect in. Alright, they should be dead here. I have Cryptic Command plus Remand. So, Scapeshift in Modern, much better than Scapeshift in Standard, because we get Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, and a bunch of mountains here. So all these come into play, and then we do lots of damages to our opponent. So each of these triggers does 3. Moving along. Moving on. I definitely think this build is more fun than normal Titan Shift. It's probably worse from a power level perspective, though. So Dispel and Negate are great here. Probably just trim like one Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt like pressures their Jace, and it kills Snapcaster Mage, which is nice. They probably want to bring in Wurmcoil and Baloth as alternate win conditions. Trim. Probably trim a growth spiral. It's like filler, kind of. No, you don't cut search for tomorrow. This is your best piece of ramp. Don't cut that one. I could see cutting a Scapeshift, but I don't know. I like having access to drawing that. They probably have discard spells post board. Having a second Scapeshift to play through counter magic is good. I'm gonna board like this. Just cut a couple of these. They could have Unmoored Ego post board. That card's a lot better in modern than it is in standard. You use a little bit of everything on Izzet Charm in this deck. Is Growth Spiral better than just regular Explore? Well, I mean, in our deck that has Remand and other instant speed effects, yeah, I think so. I think being able to pass and, like, use Growth Spiral when they don't give us something to Remand, or Remand if they do, is, like, very reasonable. Speaking of the best card in our deck. Maybe that should have been a breeding pool since I have Cryptic Command in my hand. Yeah, I guess that probably should have been a breeding pool. Alright, well this finds my third land. Let's draw blue source. Negate. Alright. At least a spell that plays. Morning, Hadel. Morphin Jar with the Twitch Prime. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you're at. I mean, getting a Dispel out there is, like, not the worst. We're going to bolt the Snapcaster Mage. And then hopefully draw a green source and slime Obstinate Baloth next turn. Go. Ewok Slayer, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. You're about to get double Collective Brutality. Is that what's happening here? Smells like it. What's going on, Miss Bit? Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Press per mid-range. Sounds good. Sounds good. Modern. Or even the most fair of decks end up just being combo decks. People who don't concede to Teferi wouldn't quit there. You're not wrong, Waterfalls. You're not wrong. One little, two little, three little floopy pigs, four little, five little, six little floopy pigs, seven little, eight little, nine little floopy pigs. Everyone's gonna die now. I'm back. Sorry. You're fine. You're fine. It's okay. It's okay. No, everybody calm down. You're gonna be okay. Billum, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The MTGO is legacy software. It's likely not getting many feature improvements at this point. Love what we have or move on. those are your two reasonable options. Arena's great. I agree. The Discord integration is arguably better than a friends list for a lot of people, myself included. Like having to manage another set of things to like message people sounds terrible. We've drawn 5 mountains. How many mountains are in this deck? It's 10 or 11. 8, 9, 10. So there's 5 mountains left in our deck. Yeah. If you remove the target of Field of Ruin in response to it activating, they don't get to search a land because their activation's countered upon resolution. All right, we've drawn 6 mountains. I'm gonna shock this in so I can have 3 counter spells up here. Oh, filter lands. This could be the wrong spot to pick a fight. They might just untap and kill us here. I just, like, don't have anything going on as the issues. Like, I kind of just, like, want to try and draw something meaningful. Am I dead yet? Yay! We died. Well, that was probably one of the matches where we had a chance. And while I could, like, not pick a fight over the Snapcaster Mage there, I'm at 12, and they're snapping back a bolt, putting me to 9, and I don't have any way to answer the Snapcaster Mage in sight, so, like, that's gonna kill me. Yeah, I mean, the hand's very good. If you mean sick, as in it's potentially ill and is going to likely die, then I agree with you. It's good. Very sick deck indeed. I'm gonna shock that in. Hold up Lightning Bolt this turn. Lightning Greaves. Alright, we made it into the Lightning Greaves bracket. That probably bodes well for us. Has Shroud. Land from the land before Hexproof comes Shroud. I agree, Tony. As far as being linear in Modern is concerned, Red-Green Titan Shift being a better deck than this really just embodies everything that's true about Modern, right? Like, this deck is basically proposing the question, being interactive is better than being linear in Modern. And the answer to that question is probably false. Because I think if it wasn't false, decks like this would, on average, be better than decks like Red-Green Titan Shift. But I don't think that's how it actually works out in practicality most of the time. How do I ever beat a Bloodghast? How do I ever beat a Bloodghast? I have to race it? I guess we could draw a Scapeshift. And like positions like this are like a great nod towards Titan Shift versus a deck like this, right? Like with Titan Shift, you have like Primeval Titans to draw to at this point too, whereas we're just drawing to 4 copies of Scapeshift, so we're less likely to hit our payoff because there's less payoffs to be hitting. Geralf's Messenger. It's a really weird card to put in your Lightning Greaves deck. Getting blood gas tastes the old-fashioned way, right? Yeah, it looks like some kind of weird devotion deck on their side of the table. We've drawn all 4 Cryptic Commands, Chad. How could we possibly lose? Yay! We did it! Ah, magic! One of your finest Scapeshifts, please. Alright, so second Valakut, 6 damage, 12 damage, 18 damage, 24 damage. Each mountain does 6. So even though we drew most of our mountains this game, 4 mountains deals 24, so we good. Anger seems pretty good. Hey, Red Dolph. We got you. Thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate it. This is probably a Baloth Wurmcoil matchup just for blockers. Repeal seems a little mediocre. This is probably not a very good counterspell matchup, so I'm going to cut these remands. We'll leave Cryptic Command in, because Cryptic Command tapping their team drawing a card like Fog plus draw a card is probably fine. Morning, Eastbus. You know, I'm not sure if there's a wiki that's just mono magic jargon. Which standard deck's my favorite at the moment? Definitely the blue-green climb variation. So blue-green climb, Temur climb. I'm actually gonna have an article going up on Cool Stuffing today talking about those styles of deck. I mean, we're just gonna do like a red-green Valakut impersonation this game, right? We're just like ramping up here. The opponent's playing Mono Black Devotion. Yeah, Vampire Nighthawk Tribal, Fly, Death Touch Lifelink Tribal. Read. So I think I'm gonna snap the growth spiral here still. Yeah, I'm really looking for like an Anger of the Gods or another Scapeshift here. I think we're gonna lose to Vampire Nighthawk, right? Like we got hit by one piece of disruption here. Feels bad, man. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, well, we died to Vampire Nighthawk and Lash Wraith. That's... How's your morning going, everybody? What's going on, Anarchist? Thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. You say that it speaks to the strength of cards, this rotation, that a handful of modern playable cards are in it. I mean, I don't know that I'd call Growth Spiral a modern playable card. I think it's in the deck that I'm playing at the moment, but I think calling it modern playable is a bit of a stretch. Yeah, all the standard decks that I've highlighted in their own pages on my website, I think are reasonable decks that can win matches of Magic. Explorer's modern playable? Not really. Sometimes it sees a small amount of play in Red-Green Valakut Titan or Amulet Titan, but it's pretty rare. Hey, Jays, thanks for the tier 2 resub. I appreciate the 6 months. Welcome back. I'm going to try Blue-Green Climate the next CT. Yeah, most likely. There's also a week from today, next Wednesday, is they're doing another one of those Twitch Rivals tournaments for Magic Arena that I'm going to be playing in, so I need to test that deck against White Weenie, because that's the one common matchup I haven't played much yet. But if it's like close to 50% against White Weenie, I think it's super reasonable. I think it probably is. It plays a lot of good cards. Yeah, definitely, Hyder. Happy to. I think splashing a third color in Blue-Green Climate is fine. Actually, my article today, in addition to talking through the different cards that I see play in the deck, I went ahead and talked through what I think are like the flex cards in the deck and like different things you could put in there, including splashing white, splashing black, splashing red. Am I going to go to Cleveland for the Open in April? No, probably not. It's a Modern Open, right? So, I didn't shock in the land there because I didn't think they were going to give me anything I really wanted to Cryptic Command. I was hoping they'd just play like a Gerald's Message or another creature that died to anger. And then they played Sword, and I got kind of punished, which feels bad. I'm gonna bounce this and draw a card. Hitting the land here is good. Wurmcoil might just win the game on its own. Yeah, in my article today, I talked about the deck, and there's five what I feel are flex slots in the deck, like slots that you could like put different things into depending on what you're looking to do. I think like 30-ish spells in the main are just like locks, and you should play them. Anarchist, I will note that down for now, but in the future, please wait to cheer until I've told you that your deck is okay to be submitted. As a heads up, I'm not, I do reject decks on occasion. Jerry Roo, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Thanks for checking out Quip. I got everything sorted with that, so thanks for the 2/3 of a year. I believe my articles post about an hour and a half from now, usually. SCTR, good morning. Yikes. Yay, Modern. We beat the last Shrive deck. We don't have to hang our head in shame. We managed to beat Mono Black last Shrive. Alright, yeah, that seems real good. Breeding pool, search, island search. Why does Scapeshift win? So in Modern, Scapeshift gets a card called Valakut the Molten Pinnacle, which makes your mountains deal damage when you have 6 or more of them. So when you have 7 lands in Modern, Scapeshift gets Valakut plus 6 mountains, which deals 18 damage to the opponent. So Scapeshift doesn't really do anything in Standard, but in Modern, it's a combo card when you have 7 lands. Living End. This matchup's probably not terrible, assuming we don't get Fulminator maged out. Looking for a land. Yikes. We do. This is the Remand matchup, Burgle. You are not wrong. One of your finest lands, please. One of your finest lands, please. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Joke's on you, opponent. Oh, no. Oh, no. I thought I was going to get to ramp again. I thought I was going to get to ramp, but they had the anti-Tribe Elder technology. They had the anti-Tribe Elder technology. Theo, can you DM me what deck those bits are for them, please, so I know where to apply them, please and thank you. Poor Steve-O. And they have like Fulminator in their hand here still. Alright, on to the next one. For those wondering why I conceded, the only way I win that game is if I make a bunch of land drops and eventually do stuff, but we know my opponent has Fulminator in their hand, so I'm not going to be able to make land drops easier. So I'm bringing in Dispel, even though it doesn't counter Living End. Because Living End decks often board in Ricochet Trap against counterspell decks, and Dispel stopped Ricochet Trap. Subscribers number per follower count? No, so subscriber counts aren't public information on Twitch. It's not a metric. That's one of the metrics that aren't accessible via the API data. I guess I keep this. We can compare to other Magic people though. Caleb and Kenji both have more followers than me still, but that's to be expected, right? Like they've been streaming full time for a long time. Although I think I'm catching up to Caleb. Caleb has, I think he was close to 60,000 last I checked. Kenji's at like almost 80k. He's been at this a while. Caleb has 55,000 followers, so I might actually catch him at some point. Got a ways to go to catch Newmont, though. Yeah, Repeal's not very good either, but I think it's, like, less bad than some of the other things that we have. Ooh. Kenji is Newmont the Nummy. We are definitely ahead in the chat timeouts. Yeah, correct. Newbot is like the OG Magic streamer for sure. Hey, Misfit Mavis, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Bloodbraid Elf? Yeah, we've played Burn with the Spectacle cards. You can find that and most other things on my website, as always. We get another forest here, so we can go Tribe Elder. They turned into bad judge, yeah, basically. Yeah, Newmont does a lot of great limited stuff. The pink hair is bound to let you catch up to Caleb. Mayhaps. My website has many a things. So they cascade into a Cascade. Are they casting Living End? Yeah, I'm not surprised they didn't actually cast the Living End there. Because casting Living End would actually be good for me. Nope, the rules have always been there. People just often click past them. People have been trained to like ignore EULA type things like that. And the problem here is that, like, I have these Cryptic Command fogs, but even if I draw Scapeshift, I need more lands than I have right now, because the Fulminator Mages are going to take me off of lands. And this Search for Tomorrow, there's only 6 basics in my deck, right? So this Search actually just doesn't have a text box at the moment. Let's play Standard. Let's play Standard. I was kind of dreading hitting this one. Decks like this just aren't very good in Modern. And arguably, like, the Living End is, like, one of the few matches where Remand should be good. And trying to play this deck, I really love this archetype. Like, combo control style decks are decks that I really like playing in general, and they're just not good in Modern. Just, like, cutting linear go fast elements from Red Green Valakut Titan to put in cards that, like, take a break and interact with the opponent is just, like, it's not where you want to be in Modern. Modern's about being linear, redundant, and fast in your combo decks, and this deck just doesn't do that. So